Morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 140 in the book of Genesis. Today's title, it's kind of a snarky title, is I Didn't Know Rape Was Wrong. And the reason I'm titling that is just to get your attention because it's not true. The rapist knows, and we're going to kind of answer the question, is rape ever a good idea? And even ask, kind of, is there a just rape? It's in our news today. It's actually a timely topic. The answer is no, no, and no. The story is from Genesis chapter 34, where a guy named Shechem, he's a prince, kind of a powerful person, and is either drawn by lust or power over control, and he rapes one of the daughters of Israel. So this is Jacob, who's also called Israel. He had a bunch of sons. They become the nation of Israel, and he also has a daughter, Dinah. So he violates her sexual sovereignty and her purity, and he takes something, he steals something from her that was hers to give, hopefully in marriage. But then he's drawn to her, which is kind of a natural consequence of having sex with somebody. If you want to learn more about that, go to yesterday's podcast. So he wants to marry her, and the people of Israel is like, this is outrageous. You've done this outrageous thing. You've defiled her. And it's a thing, and they say this, that must not be done. So they make this plotful revenge, which is going to be set up here in this chapter. So read with me Genesis chapter 34. But Hamor, so that's the father of the rapist, but Hamor spoke with them, the brothers of Israel, saying, the soul of my son Shechem, he's the rapist, longs for your daughter. Please give her to him as his wife. Just amazing. Make marriages with us. Give your daughters to us. Take our daughters for yourselves. You shall dwell with us, and the land shall be open to you. Dwell and trade in it, and get property in it. And Shechem also said to her father and to her brothers, let me find favor in your eyes, and whatever you say to me, I will give. Ask me for as great a bride price and gift as you will, and I will give you whatever you say to me. Only give me the young woman to be my wife. So they try to make some sort of arrangement here. Come live in our land, trade with us, property, be marriage partners, and here's the bad thing, become one people. We'll talk more about that tomorrow probably. So then this plot is hatched. Here it is, verse 13. The sons of Jacob answered Shechem, his father, Hamor, deceitfully. So that means treacherous, with treacherous intent. And they're tomorrow, stick with me, they're going to slaughter every one of the grown men in society. So they answer him deceitfully because he had defiled their sister, Dinah. They said to them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one who is uncircumcised. That would be a disgrace to us. Only on this condition will we agree with you, that you will become as we are by every male among you being circumcised. So that's a plot to weaken them and probably infect them and slaughter them. Stick around, we'll get to that tomorrow. Then we will give our daughters to you, and we will take your daughters to ourselves, and we will dwell with you and become one people. But if you will not listen to us and be circumcised, we will take our daughter and we will be gone. So all that's not true. All right, so I was first thinking is that Shechem, who does the raping, he's doing what is right in his own eyes. But on second thought, I'm saying no, that's not right in his own. Everybody knows that it is outrageous and it must not be done. So we're very early in the events of mankind. We're only 22 maybe generations from Adam and Eve, overlapping generations, since they call this the book of Genesis, the book of beginnings. Well, this is even before we have the Ten Commandments from Exodus or the Levitical laws. But God has placed a moral law in everybody's conscience, everybody that's ever lived. So I say no, it's not right in his eyes, Shechem the rapist, or anyone else's. He knows it's wrong, and everybody knows that it is wrong. Romans 2 explains that in verse 14, for when Gentiles, that is unbelievers or people that don't follow God, who do not have the law by nature do what the law requires, they show that the work of the law is written in their hearts, while their conscience also bears witness. So their conflicting thoughts accuse or even excuse them on that day when, according to my gospel, God judges the secrets of men. So not yet believers or unbelievers have a conscience that is at work and a heart that bears witness to the wrongness of certain things, rape, for example, and sexual sins. So already in the book of Genesis, the sexual sins of Sodom are presumed wrong by everybody then and everybody now. And because of this understanding, the punishment that's delivered is portrayed as just. So unbelievers and believers alike are going to be without excuse. So it is certainly sinful. He knows it, and everybody knows it. So there is no justified rape. You can't think of any examples of it, and neither can I. So let me draw some conclusions here. Number one, God has written much of the law that's yet to come here from the book of Genesis on our hearts and in our consciousness. Therefore, point number two is we are without excuse. Point number three is there is no examples of just rape, justified rape. Not here, not in the book of Genesis here, not since then, and not any time in the future. So later, point number four, is later in this history of mankind, God is going to clarify right and wrong even more so. So he started with a conscience and our heart, and then he's going to write this law, and the law is going to describe himself. It's going to expose God's character by the law and the example eventually of Jesus. So I think that the take-home point for us all is let's love the revelation and the exposure of God's character. That's done by the law. You know, the psalmist keeps saying, "Oh, I love the law." Why is that? Because it reveals God. It describes God. It represents God in our finite world. And then finally, the revelation, the exposure of God's character is done most clearly by example when Jesus comes. So let's love the law, and let's also love the lawgiver and the law exemplar, who's Jesus. Thanks for listening.